Hi there. I invite you to this very interesting topic of bad debts in accounting. In this presentation, I'll show you how to record bad debts in the books of accounts. And I will also show you that a debt previously written off as bad may turn around, and then how we record that debt in the books of accounts and how we close the account of the customer. So let's get it started and move on to the next slide. Okay, before we proceed to the presentation, I request you to like, comment, and subscribe this channel. Thank you. Right. Um, Let me explain to you as to how a debt turns into bad debt. Well, actually, what happens is that normally 30 days credit is allowed when a business buys goods from some other firm or company. Now, for some reason, the buyer is not able to settle the account in 30 days. So what happens that the account becomes outstanding and doubtful. So efforts are made to recover the outstanding amount, and the final stage is a court, where a court decision is required. And if the court declares the, the account as bankrupt, so then there is no chance of recovering the funds from the customer, and that particular account is called bad debt. Now, it's a normal feature in companies all over the world that some accounts turn sour and they are treated as bad debt. What happens is that companies go to the board of directors to obtain authority to write off these bad debts from the books of accounts. So the accounting treatment is described in this presentation, and you will also learn that sometimes a client may turn around and wish to make the payment of the account that has previously been closed by the company. So the treatment of this situation will also be shown to you in this presentation. So let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, now in a previous presentation, I showed you the treatment of allowance for doubtful accounts. And in this presentation, the account is used to write off bad debts, and the accounting entries we debit allowance for doubtful accounts and we credit accounts receivable. By giving a credit to accounts receivable, the debit balance in the account is cleared and the account is closed in the books of accounts. An example, it follows. Right. Now, what happens is that from time to time, company will prepare a list of those accounts that are treated bad debts, and then the company will go to the board of directors, will obtain their authority to write off these accounts. So the accounting entry is shown in the next slide. As you can see, the debit is to allowance for doubtful accounts. That is the account that is created in the books of account for treatment of bad debts. And then the credit is given to the accounts of the customers who could not settle their accounts and they are treated as bad debts. At times, there may be temporary cash flow problem. So a client could not settle the account, but maybe later on, when their cash flow has improved, they turn around and they want to settle the account. So two actions are required in this situation. The first is to restore the debt in the books of accounts, and second, to record the collection of the debt. And this is shown in the next slide. Now, this is an example that M. Jones wishes to settle the debt $2,100, which was previously written off as bad debt. So now the first action is to restore this account in the books of accounts. So the entry is we debit account receivable with the name M. John, debit $2,100 in this account, and by this action, the debt is restored in the books of accounts. And then the credit goes to allowance for doubtful accounts. So this is our first action. And the second action is we debit bank and we give a credit to accounts receivable M. John. So by debiting bank, the money is received in the bank account, and by crediting account receivable, a debt that we created is now cleared by this credit. So the account is finally closed for M. John. Well, I hope you learned uh, the treatment of bad debts in this presentation, but I strongly advise you to refer to my other presentation on allowance for doubtful accounts, and that will give you the idea as to how the allowance is created in the books of accounts, and also visit my other presentations on accounting and finance. And if you have any comment, please contact me. My email address is given down below. Thank you and wish you good luck.